Today we're talking about how do you as as a service provider, as an expert, as a coach or consultant, how do you create a business where you love working with your clients? You love the work that you do. You work with clients, the exact kind of clients that you love working with, and that you're working with people in a way that fits you like a glove, that fits your personality, your strengths, your talents, your skills, and the lifestyle that you want. And one of the ways we want to make sure that we're doing that is that we're leveraging your leadership as a service provider, as an expert. We're leveraging your leadership so that you can work less while continuing to really serve the people that you serve. How do we do that? This is in contrast to most experts and service providers, right? Because most people are burned out from working with clients one on one, or they're working with energy draining prospects and clients who whine and complain and don't take responsibility and have unreasonable expectations and don't pay you what you're worth. That's the reality of most experts and service providers, is that they're working in those conditions. They've almost recreated another 9 to 5 job, but without some of the security and benefits. So we want to avoid getting burned out from either doing, intense energy draining one-on-one work that doesn't work for you, or that can't get you to where you want to be financially, or we want to avoid working with the types of clients who also drain your energy, who also zap you of your zest for your work. Now, Ashley and I, the reason we are talking about this is because we've been on many sides of this spectrum. We started our careers as therapists and we had a brick and mortar therapy practice in Southern California. Some of the clients were awesome. Some of the clients were not awesome. They were very energy drained. When we started out, people were paying us by the hour and they weren't paying us that much. When we figured some things out in that business and that started to get better. And then at some point, we started a coaching practice where we were coaching and leading people when it came to relationships. So we were helping people with dating and relationships. And we started coaching people on how to meet the partner they were looking for, or how to turn around their relationship or make their relationship better. And in operating that business, we discovered a lot of things that we liked doing, a lot of things that we didn't like doing, a lot of ways that we liked working with people, and a lot of ways that we did not like working with people, right? We discovered a lot of types of clients that we liked working with, and a lot that we didn't. But eventually, we grew both the therapy practice and that dating and relationship coaching business into businesses that were awesome, super fun to operate, gave us the lifestyle we wanted financially. And we could do them while working part-time. We weren't working full-time on any of those businesses. And it got massive results for our clients, right? We were able to figure out how to really impact people and get them results while really creating the lifestyle that we want. So everything I'm about to talk about is hard fought, what's worked for us and what hasn't worked for us over the last 20 years. We made a lot of mistakes along the path. We've hired many mentors along the path, not only in how to become great therapists and coaches, but then also in business, how to become great at business. So it was a lot of going through those experiences that we are where we are today. But I think the goal for anyone that's listening to this is that you do want to have a business that fits you like a glove, right? Fits your personality, fits your strengths, fits your talents, fits the lifestyle that you want. You do want to get paid what you're worth. You do want to impact and change people's lives and really help people get the solutions they need. You might want to be able to serve more clients, impact people more while working less, right? So let's talk about how to do that. I won't be able to go through everything today. In fact, I'm just going to walk you through the first step. So if we want to be able to do this, it really comes down to how you package and position your expertise and wisdom. If you have this expertise, you have this wisdom, you have these skills. If we want to build a business around that fits you like a glove, it comes down to how do you package and position your expertise? And then how do you communicate that expertise to the world? So just know that the answer to doing this is going to be how you package, position, and communicate your expertise to the world. I believe that everyone has a true calling. Everyone has something they were put on this earth to do. And one of the things that Ashley and I really want to do is we want to help bring that out of people and help them live into their true calling, help them serve people at the highest levels with what they were put on this earth to do. Now, the first step to building this kind of business is, number one, you have to identify what your true calling or purpose is, because everything flows from that. If you try to just jump on one trendy topic to another, you're never going to love your business. It's not going to fit you like a glove, right? If you just see that, oh, other experts, other coaches are making money by teaching people how to, how to lose weight, maybe I'll do that. And then, 6 months later, you're like, oh, I see people are teaching people how to get rich with crypto. I'll teach people how to do that. Oh, I see people are teaching people how to, reduce their anxiety. I'll teach people how to do that. And I'm not saying that you have to go so niche in something and stick to that forever. But what I am saying is you don't want to base your expert business off of looking outside of yourself and seeing what's trendy, seeing what's working for others. You want to base your expert business based on looking inside and identifying your true calling or purpose. This is how we're going to be able to build a business that fits you like a glove. We want to spend the majority of our working hours doing meaningful work, doing exactly what we were put on this earth to do. So we want to build the business to fit your purpose in life, your personality, your skills, your lifestyle. Now, so the first step is we got to make sure we're identifying your true calling or purpose. We want to get into the details of that. We want to get some specifics. Now, before we get into that, here's something I want to have you think about. There are two ways to plan, to do something, to plan. One way is called refrigerator planning, refrigerator thinking, and one way is called menu thinking. So refrigerator thinking is you go into your refrigerator, you look in there and you see what ingredients you have. And then you're going to come up with something you can make from the ingredients you already have in your refrigerator. So you're limited in terms of what you can make, the meal you can make based on the ingredients you already have in your refrigerator, right? So you're limited there. This is how most people build a business. This is how most people go about most things. They look at their life and they think about, what are my existing assets? What am I good at? What do I see other people doing that's working? And they're just like, okay, let me build something within that framework, within that way of thinking. And I'm going to tell you that's very limiting. And also, it typically is going to lead you to do things that are very average, right? Because most of what you see people doing is average. Just statistically, that's true, right? If you're looking out there and you're limiting yourself based on what you're immediately seeing, you're going to get average results. And again, what's average results in an expert business? Getting burned out on one-on-one sessions, working with energy draining clients, doing a bunch of things you don't like doing, and not getting paid what you're worth. That's the average. So we want to stay away from refrigerator thinking. We want to use menu thinking. Menu thinking is where you set no limits on yourself. You're just like, what kind of menu would I like to create? I'm not looking at my current ingredients. I'm not looking at my current skills even. I'm just brainstorming and dreaming about what is the menu I want to create. Oh, okay. I want to make a beef bourguignon, or I want to make this amazing vegetarian salad, or I want to make, whatever it is. You come up with the menu, then you go and search for the ingredients and the skills you need to make that. And that's what we want to do to build a business that fits you like a glove and that you absolutely love. We want to create the menu based on your true calling, based on what you're put on this earth to do, based on what's best for you and nobody else. And then we're going to go out in the world and get the ingredients, the skills, or the people we need to make that happen. So just as we're going through this, don't get limited by refrigerator thinking. We're coming up with the menu. So there's a couple of questions you want to answer when identifying your true calling or purpose and how you want to work with people. So the first thing is, what are some of the outcomes or transformations that you're uniquely here to lead people to? What are the solutions? What's the change in the world that you want to help people get to? And I'd like you to be a little specific. And again, you don't have to be tied to this. You don't have to do this for the next 40 years, but let's get specific. Write this down. What outcomes do you think you might like to help people get? Or if you've already been working with people, What outcomes do you truly enjoy helping people get? So don't just say, I want to help people with relationships. I want to help people with money. I want to help people with fitness. What are some specific outcomes under that with relationships, with money, with fitness that you want to help people get to? What do some of these transformations look like? In your heart of hearts, what would you really like to see people get in their lives that you might want to help them do, right? What kind of change do I want to help others create? So sometimes you're helping people go from non-functional or subpar to par or functional, right? You're taking people with a real big problem, a real big deficit, something that is very, really impacting their life where they're almost non-functional, they're subpar, and you're helping them just get back to like functional. Like a lot of therapy is like this, right? Where you're like, someone's majorly depressed and you're just helping them get to like where they can start functioning in life. Or if you're an auto mechanic, this might be you, right? Someone's car won't even start. They don't know what's happening. And you're not trying to help them create like the most amazing car. You're just trying to help them get their car back on the road, right? And then there's other types of transformation where you're helping people go from average to great, right? Where you're helping someone go from losing those last 5 pounds. You're not helping someone lose 45 pounds. You're helping someone lose those last 5 pounds to be very fit, or you're helping an athlete gain a couple extra seconds or a little bit extra weight on a lift, right? So you can think about these transformations, these outcomes you help people get. There's some different categories. One is going from way below average to average, taking people from that. And one is taking people from average to amazing. You're typically not going to be like taking people from way below average to being like totally amazing world class. Now, you could do that if you work with someone for years, but right now, just think about what does this transformation look like? Now, another way to think about this, because when you think of transformation, there is what outcomes do you want to help people get to? And there's like, what problems do you want to solve? What problems are they coming to you with? So another thing to think about is what problems do I really want to solve? Now, if you think about me, I like helping, in this context, I like helping experts, service-based providers, coaches, consultants. I like helping them create a business that they love, where they get paid what they're worth, and they're just working part-time with clients they really love working with, living out this calling of theirs. So I'm not saying like, I'm a business coach. I help people, create billion-dollar businesses. Like I'm not helping Fortune 500 companies. I don't want to do that, right? So I'm very specific with the problems I solve, right? I help, coaches, experts, service-based providers who are frustrated with doing a lot of one-on-one sessions that are draining, or by working with energy draining clients who aren't truly valuing their expertise and aren't paying them what they're worth. And I help them package and position their expertise so that they can really live out their true calling and create the lifestyle that they want. That's all that I do. But you can see I'm very specific on what problems do I help people solve? What outcomes do I get to? Now, you don't want to limit yourself and be like, well, I don't know if I want to do this forever. That's okay. But right now, in your heart of hearts, we're just identifying what feels like the thing you're put on this earth to do. One of my favorite biographies of all time is of Steve Martin. And he kind of had a cool philosophy of his work. He would identify something he really wanted to do, and then he'd give himself 10 years to master that thing. So when he was like, in his 20s, he mastered stand-up comedy. He got really good at doing stand-up comedy, and he gave himself 10 years to do that. And he became famous from that. Then in his 30s, he's like, I'm going to give myself 10 years to become a great actor. And I'm going to act in movies, on shows, and I'm just going to focus on being a great actor. Because that's what I feel like my calling is. And then in his 40s, he's like, I'm going to master playing music in a band, in a bluegrass band. And in his 40s, he started a bluegrass band and got really good at playing bluegrass in a band. So again, I'm not saying you have to be married to your calling forever. It probably also isn't going to switch every 3 to 6 months, right? So again, what problems do I want to solve? What change do I want to see? Now, here's another aspect of your true calling. You want to answer this question. What activities do I want to do week after week? So this is like, how do you want to work with clients? Now, you may not know this if you're just getting started, or you may have very specific things you don't want to do. But this is like, okay, what are the activities you know you want to do in terms of how you help clients? How do you want to do that? What are the activities? Do you want to be in person talking to them? Do you want to be on the phone? Do you want to be on video? Like me, I like to do a video like this, like some kind of coaching video where I'm on with a bunch of people, coaching them on video, and they can be anywhere in the world. I can be anywhere in the world. I want to do this once or twice a week. And then outside of that, I want to be on calls and I want to be direct messaging with my clients because that's what I enjoy doing. That's the way I enjoy working with people. And I feel like I get the best results. You might want to do things very differently. You might want to speak on stages. You might want to travel and go meet people, meet clients and work with them. You might want to meet with them in person in and out. You might want to do a lot of video or Zoom sessions with people, but just start. And again, you don't have to know this perfectly, but this is one of these things you want to track forever. As long as you work as an expert, you want to check in with yourself. What activities am I enjoying the most doing in my work with clients and also prospecting? Let me make sure that I'm getting out of the activities I don't really enjoy and leaning into the ones that I really do enjoy. Because again, a lot of people get boxed in here because they saw this one person, made millions and created an amazing business by speaking on stages, Tony Robbins, right? For example. So that must be how you have to do that. Or I saw this other person kill it with webinars, so you have to do it that way. No, there's actually no ways that you have to do this. You can make most of the ways work. We just want to select the ones that work for you. So write down, what activities do I want to do week after week? And then just keep checking in with yourself month after month and make sure you're living out the activities that fit you like a glove. And again, also, you want to continue with am I helping people get to the change that I really want to help people get to, that I think I'm called to do? And then the final thing with identifying your true calling is you want to know, how much money do I want to make per month? There's a number. You have a number in mind. What is that number? Don't limit yourself. Don't think, well, what did Jerry do? What did Sarah do? What's the average coach make per hour? What is the amount of money you want to make per month? If I said, close your eyes and really think in your heart of hearts, what is the number for you specifically to make per month in this business? Just write that down, because everything we do going forward is going to come from identifying this true calling or purpose. And by the way, a true calling and purpose is a total thing. It's not just, your Mother Teresa and I have this calling to serve people. It is that, but it's also, what activities do you want to do? What's the money? How much money do you want to make per month? What lifestyle do you want to create for yourself, for your family, and for the people that you love? That's part of it too. That's part of your true calling and purpose. I can tell you right now, part of my true calling and purpose is not to leave my son, my wife, my family without any money, totally broke. No, part of my true calling and purpose is to leave my family with a legacy of my work so that they can be proud of what I've done, but also a legacy of money to take them to the next level. So this first step, we're identifying your true calling. What outcomes or transformation do you want to lead people to? What problems do you solve? What activities do you want to be doing week after week? And notice I said, do you want to be doing? And then how much money, what's your money number per month? This is the first step.